If you want to learn how fair use and the recent court ruling may affect your YouTube channel, be sure to stick around because I'm going to take you through it step by step. Hi and welcome to Creator Fundamentals. My name is Dan Currier and I am here to help you build a foundation for YouTube success. So what exactly is fair use? Well, today we're going to cover that topic, and we're also going to talk a little bit about how the recent court ruling may have clarified exactly what fair use is and how you should approach it on YouTube.
Alright, so for those of you who are not familiar with the recent court ruling, I just want to share some background information. So this particular lawsuit was brought about by a man by the name of Matt Husseinzadeh versus Ethan Klein and Hyla Klein. Now, Ethan and Hyla have a channel of the same name, and in this particular lawsuit, Matt is claiming that they infringed on his intellectual property, that they basically infringed on his copyright by copying content that he did on his channel for use on their channel. Alright, so the original content was a video on the Matt Hoss Zone YouTube channel called Bold Guy versus Parkour Girl. And the subsequent video, which had been taken down from the original Ethan and Hyla channel, was called, I believe, The Big, the Bold, and the Beautiful. Since winning the lawsuit, they have actually re-uploaded the video to their H3H3 Productions channel. So if you're interested in checking out the video that caused all of this dispute between these two channels, you can check it out on the H3H3 Production YouTube channel. But basically, what the situation was here is that Ethan and Hyla were doing a reaction video. And reaction videos are very popular on YouTube, and so there's certainly a case to be made in a lot of situations where one YouTuber uses the content of the other YouTuber. But in this particular lawsuit, Ethan and Hyla actually were victorious. They won this lawsuit, and there were a number of reasons that the judge identified as reasons why the way in which they used the Matt Hoss Zone content was acceptable. So we're going to take a look at that and see how all of that ties into fair use, because ultimately fair use is what allowed them to win this lawsuit. Okay, so the ruling, which consists of several pages that outlines in detail exactly why the judge ruled as she did. The initial summary indicates that the review of the video left no doubt that it constitutes critical commentary, and also goes on to say that the Klein video is decidedly not a market substitute for the Hoss video. And this is going to come into play in a number of ways that we're going to talk about. And it's really important in terms of fair use. So let's take a look at that in further detail. So the judge outlined a number of factors that weighed on the decision. Three things that stuck out to me specifically were whether or not the content was transformative. She also looked at the quantity, quality, and importance of the content that was used from the original, and also whether the new work served as a market substitute to the original. And we're going to look at these three areas in greater detail. Alright, so the judge talked about whether or not the video that was created by Ethan and Hyla was transformative. Now, I think this is a very important topic when it comes to reaction videos on YouTube. I see a lot of reaction type videos where people are simply taking somebody's entire video and playing it with a picture-in-picture or a voiceover and sharing an occasional giggle or comment on the video. And I think you can certainly run into trouble with the idea that your video is transformative when you're making reactions in that fashion. In this case, they actually took clips and they provided feedback interwoven with the content that they used from the Matt Hoss Zone video. So I think that's something that definitely should be focused on and something to consider for your own channel. If you do reaction videos, that it must be transformative in nature to basically create something new. All right, so this next part was actually something that I found quite interesting and something that I did not know. And this has to do with not only the quantity, but the quality importance of the way the clips were used. In this case, the decision noted that the defendants used a number of short segments, interspersing their commentary and critique along the way. And I think that is what moved this particular factor in their favor, because when you look at the total time, they used 3 minutes and 15 seconds of a 5-minute video, which is certainly the majority. But the decision goes on to say that the law is clear, however, that quantity alone is not determinative. So I thought that was really interesting. That's really helpful to know that it's not so much how much of somebody's content you use, but it really has to do with how you have used it. All right, so as I showed you previously, the summary of this decision by the judge actually stated that the reaction video did not serve as a market replacement to the original, and I think that's really important. And that has to do with whether the reaction video usurps the demand of the original, i.e. people would watch this video in place of the original, versus the idea that yes, it may impact the total market of the original video because it is very critical of it. So what this part of the decision actually states is that the role of the courts is to distinguish between biting criticism that merely suppresses demand and copyright infringement which usurps it. And of course, usurp means take the place of. And what the judge goes on to state is that yes, this is a very critical reaction to the original video, but the reaction video does not serve as a market replacement to the original, meaning it's not basically the same content re-uploaded that somebody could watch and take the same from as they would had they watched the original. And I think that's super important when thinking about fair use, and may help you if you do reaction videos or you're using somebody else's content, to make sure you're falling within the guidelines of fair use and you don't find yourself in the middle of a lawsuit. I just wanted to share some final thoughts and takeaways regarding this court decision. In terms of what it actually provided to us in terms of information about fair use may be interpreted going forward, make sure the work that you create is yours. It's really important that you have created a new, original work, even if you're using content from other people. It should be very obvious that it is a new work and you're not simply reposting the work of others. Also understand that how you use other people's content is more important than how much you use. So be sure, as mentioned in this video and how Ethan and Hyla actually use the content, yes, they use the majority of it, but they broke it up in such a way, providing their own interjections and reactions interspersed in the video, which helped them greatly in having that particular factor in their favor. And also, when working on your own content, you want to make sure that your finished product is not going to serve as a replacement to the original. Like I said earlier, in cases where you've simply taken somebody's entire video and you have it on screen for the entire length of your video and you're simply adding some commentary over it, I think you may run into trouble there. So you really want to make sure that you have a new transformative work that doesn't usurp the demand for the original. And the one other thing that I want to mention is, yes, they won this court case, but it was also a very expensive process for them. I believe a GoFundMe page or some type of fundraising account was set up for them, and it looked like they raised $170,000. I don't know what their actual court costs ended up being. So the lesson there is that sometimes, even if you're right, you may not be able to fund proving that you're right. So that's also something to keep in mind. It's definitely something that can impact small YouTubers when you're going against somebody who has a lot more resources than you. Kind of sucks, but that can certainly be the case. So that is something to keep in mind when using other people's content. Even though you may be in the right under fair use, it may be a long and arduous and expensive process for you to prove that. So just something to keep in mind. Just wanted to share the final thoughts there. So hopefully that provided you some information going forward if you're doing reaction videos or other types of videos that use clips from other creators.
I hope you found this video useful. If you would like to continue to build a foundation for YouTube success, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you've clicked that bell notification icon so you don't miss a thing. That's all the time we have for today. I appreciate you watching the video. My name is Dan Currier, and you're watching Creator Fundamentals. Thank you.